It's story time with the Histories, with your hosts, Matt Marie and Jen Dumas.
Presented by Anchor FM.
All right, Jen, you know what?
What?
Sometimes the internet, even though it's a cursed place, it's cursed.
It is. It is.
TikTok, QAnon, all that garbage out there. Sometimes it comes through in a big way. Okay.
I am surprised that you are saying this.
Yeah, well, because you see the script in front of you, you have the outline, you already know what I'm going to say. We here at Storytime with the Histories, we have a commitment to history and storytelling.
Of course.
But more than anything else, the factual actual.
Well, yeah, we want to be entertaining and accurate.
Yeah, but it's accurate more than anything else. Like, we don't want to be Joe Rogan, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we don't want to be that. So the reason that this story today that we're going to tell is so amazing, so great, is it comes from the Reddit sub, Our History Anecdotes. Because
you're on Reddit?
Yeah, well, I'm not on Reddit, but I was snooping around because there's this story that I love. I love telling it in class. I love all this, the intricacies of this totally melted story and on these people who are involved. But everything I kept finding, because I wanted a good follow-up to our previous episode on the Banquet of Blood. And like everything I found was like Yale boring British content. And it's not fun, and I'm falling asleep at my keyboard and all this sort of stuff. So I hopped on Reddit to this sub, Our History Anecdotes, and I found this guy. He's gone. It's a deleted user poster.
Oh.
But he had this awesome breakdown of this story I love. So today we're going to hop into the flight of Varennes, and we're going to tell this incredibly melted story. And it's a huge assist today from Reddit, which I never thought I would put those words together in the history of my life.
I never thought you'd ever go on Reddit in the history of your life. I do go on Reddit. I love the am I a circle stories, because usually if you have to ask that question, you totally are. Those every once in a while, maybe slide over to the non-historical side and see some really entertaining stuff.
Which is most of Reddit. I love how you like the non-historical side of Reddit. 99.98% of Reddit.
Oh my God, that's what we should do. We should get on Reddit and start posting am I an A circle for historical figures?
Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. I want my job. I need this job. Not doing it. Yeah, I'm already going to be in language jail today because flight to Varennes. I can't, I can't say this word. I'm not doing it like the French, like peanut butter stuck in my mouth. We're doing flight of Varennes. I'm saying it the English way.
All right. You know what? I have to say, though, I really enjoyed our interesting way to start this pod and the fact that you've actually branched out a little bit.
Always interesting, never branching out. But, I guess there's a time for everything.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome again to Storytime with the Historists, the podcast for world history students, enthusiasts, and teachers. It's world history, but told our way. And today I'm super excited because we're talking French Revolution. And it goes nicely with the bashing of the French that we did today as a result of our discussion on the Treaty of Versailles. It's a nice flow.
Yeah, well, I think in general, like, European history has this really nice arc of making fun of France that we can just really tap into.
A little bit, yeah. I know, it's true.
I'm with you, but immediately I can already hear students and listeners falling asleep when we're going to talk about the French Revolution.
Oh my God, no, it's so entertaining.
We're going to do a bit of a sum it up today.
Yes,
for the basics of the French Revolution so that we can get into the best story. I think it's the best story anyway, of the entire revolution, the ill-fated flight to Varennes, and then the aftermath and fallout of this
it's delightful.
Totally idiotic plan. And so, listener, don't worry. Don't get your pillow out. Don't unplug and wander away.
It's gonna be great.
Turn on TikTok and just have this playing in the background. We're gonna get through the revolution, but we're really teeing up our next two episodes. This is going to be a three-parter for us. We haven't done a three-parter in a while.
No.
We're going to get to the good stuff here, but before we can get to the good stuff, we got to get through the whys. What's going on and why is this all happening?
I think you're selling this short. I think this is a really entertaining context too.
I agree it is entertaining, but I just want to make sure people also don't immediately unplug and walk away, right?
Oh,
They, like go make eggs or whatever the kids are doing this day. I assume it's scrambled eggs.
I feel like you're selling us short, but that's all right. Our students do that every day, so it's fine.
Pro egg. This is a
Where does our
podcast.
where does our information come from today?
So we got a lot of stuff today. Usually at the top, we acknowledge all our sources and go through the laundry list. That would take us a while because while we started on Reddit, we really did branch out. The poster who threw that stuff up on the our history anecdotes, which I do have a link to that we'll make available in the description. Had some sources that they cited, and then we used that to track down some books and some articles and some stuff. We even went to Oxford history because the British do it right, and some stuff by William Doyle, some sort of melted old historian. But we'll throw all this stuff up in the description so that we don't spend the next 15 minutes boring people with all the different places that we went to. So check out the description, hyperlinks, all great stuff. But Jen, let's get into it. We've already let the listener, baited in anticipation. French Revolution. Let's get into it.
Okay, so 1789 hits, right? And things are not going down well in France for a variety of different reasons, right? They can't win a war at this stage to save their lives.
One.
And then, but that's a big one.
That's a big one, but I'm just taking them off. I'm
one.
keeping for the listener the variety of reasons. One, can't win a war, but they're France, so we already knew that.
So they put themselves in a tremendous amount of debt, and because they lost against Britain in the French and Indian War, they decide to help the Americans fight against the British in the American Revolution, and yay, we win, but we have no money.
We win. France was there.
Well, I know, but
win. It's the
yes,
American
United
Revolution.
States, yeah, go America.
USA.
We got nothing to give to France, in all honesty. Like, there's no
We gave them debt. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's a gift that keeps on. Now they can get a good credit rating.
There you go. See.
So one.
See, we were
can't
just
win
thinking
a war.
ahead.
Two,
debt. 3, the most ridiculous, outdated social hierarchical system. Just terrible with the 3 estates where, you've got the first estate, who's the clergy, second estate's the nobility, they pay no taxes, the third estate are all the basically poor people and middle class, and they're forced to pay every single tax for the people of France. And so that is stupid because you've just angered 98% of your population. And
all right. 3, angry about social hierarchy stupidity. Yep. Taxes. Always the taxes. Taxes are too high. Story of everybody's life. All right, so we're setting them up. We're knocking them down.
And then when they do try to solve all these different problems at the estate's general meeting, the outdated voting system is ridiculous because the first and second estate are always going to outvote the third estate, so nothing's going to get accomplished.
Yeah, well, that was a stupid move. The king, so I think that's number 4, which you drastically undersold, is stupid king.
Well, it is stupid king. Though, in all fairness to King Louis, he did try to raise taxes on the nobility. Before the Estates General meeting, they simply said no, and he's like, all right.
Yeah, the Assembly of the Notables. Yeah, he called together the richest people who had no historical basis for taxing themselves and was like, hey, do you guys want to pay taxes? And shockingly, they were like, nah, we're straight, dude. Let's continue to not pay taxes. Let's continue to have the people with no money pay taxes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the king's like, oh, yeah, I'll show you. We'll get the Estates General together and we'll have everybody vote on paying taxes, except for that the vote will never go the way I want it to. Which is, this is the dumbest plan of all time. Which, makes the dumb plans that we're going to talk about in Varennes and all that, that are dumber than this, also just mind-numbing.
It's ridiculous.
I have this mug that says, stupid people doing stupid things because they're stupid, in reference to the awesome TV show Archer. And I feel like the French Revolution was a precursor for that mug. It's just
probably.
Whatever the dumbest thing that could possibly done was done. So then we're at the Estates General. The vote obviously doesn't go the way of the king. So then, what's his trump card? When does he lay it down? When does he play the Joker?
He doesn't really play a Joker. What ends up happening is you have members of the third estate who at least the middle class part of the third estate has been exposed to Enlightenment ideas like John Locke and natural rights. And
we have a whole episode on that, right, listener? So check out Shopping Cart Ogre back catalog. We have 30 minutes of great content on that one for sure.
So because it's, this time period in history, they're not just going to sit down and go, oh, well, I guess it's just the way it's always going to be. So they fight back and they create this National Assembly and they meet at Versailles and they they're going to meet until they form a constitution, and they're meeting and everything's going well until one day they go to meet again, and the door to the room is locked. And whether King Louis locked this or this was just a big freaking mistake by an idiot at Versailles, it doesn't matter, because
it sounds like 6 of one, half dozen of the other there on that one. I don't know. I think this is the wild card right here. This is the Joker. He's like, it's totally going to stop them from radicalizing. Me locking them in a room where they're just going to radicalize each other.
I can't imagine that he was that stupid. Like,
I don't know. It's not a deep gene pool.
It is not. It is true.
Splash pad of genetics.
God. So, as a result of this, it doesn't make the National Assembly go away. They meet at the tennis court and make the famous tennis court oath that they're going to create a constitutional monarchy and a constitution for the people of France, and that's just the way it's going to be.
That's right. The greatest thing done on a tennis court in France until Rafael Nadal. I think that's still timely, but if it's not, don't cancel me, please. I don't know my tennis.
He's older. He's not one of the newer
He's
generations.
indomitable. He's got like 1,000 wins on clay.
He is a great clay court player, without a doubt. Anyway,
and that's in France. It was good. It was a good reference.
It was a good reference. So basically, as a result of this, they're going to set up a constitutional monarchy. The royal family actually gets moved from Versailles to Paris.
That's a big one.
It is. It's a big one. They're like, you can't isolate yourself anymore, so suck it up, Buttercup, and see what's going on with the masses. And that's great. Like, a constitutional monarchy is great, and a constitution is great. And actually, King Louis agrees to it, right? And I think at the time it was desperation because he understood the writing on the wall, but still.
Yeah, I think we say agree to it, but we got to remember, like, the reason, because they, like you said, they leave Versailles and they ended up at this place, the Tuileries Palace. Mm-hmm. But that had way more to do, I think, with like the Great Fear in the countryside and the burning of all those estates and the Women's March, like this much maligned event by, I think, more contemporary sort of people. I remember the Women's March being much more of a center of French Revolution history in years past. Not to say that we undersell it, but some people are. But the point here is that like the king is not acting out of, like you said, this like magnanimous nature. Is like there's some desperation here. This is a threatening environment, and he and his wife, the Queen Marie Antoinette, are at the epicenter of a lot of the potential violence. And a lot of that has to do, like you said, with the mismanagement, those big reasons that you listed off up at the top, and the fact that nobody liked Marie Antoinette. And she was a magnet for violence and disdain and just general hatred. I'm glad for her that she did not exist in the time of the internet. She would have been roasted and flamed.
And not even paying attention to the whole let them eat cake, because we know that's not true. But
she didn't
what did she think was going to happen when she goes out in public with boats in her hair? I mean, come on.
Hey,
your people are starving, but you're spending a ton of money on a freaking boat piece in their hair?
I feel like we need to dispel a myth a little bit, because yes, she did spend some money, but she's royalty, and all these old school European monarchs are, they're all absolutist pigs who are spending money left and right. She caught a lot of flack because she was German, Austrian.
Austrian,
right?
Oh, yeah.
They're Germans. They're Germans. But yeah, she's Austrian. She marries in. She gets married off, like, as a teenager to this, like, older man, which is, like, gross in and of itself. And she ends up, and she immediately starts catching flack. She's kind of weird. She's an odd duck. Like, she used to dress up as like a milkwoman, and she'd go out and like milk the cows, even though she was the Queen of France. But
why is that weird?
Well, she just it's not weird to me. I'm not judging. Yeah, I'm not judging, but it was weird to the people of France.
Maybe she was trying to get in touch with her,
but also she can't win because that's like a humble thing to do. But then later she gets blamed for like the diamond necklace affair and stuff, and that's not her fault either.
True.
Yeah, I mean, there was like the preceding king and queen were the ones who had, commissioned that diamond necklace, and they're the ones who stiffed the bill on the jewelers, and they're the ones who created the debt. And Marie actually didn't want to pay for it, but she couldn't win. She just couldn't win. And come the revolution, when things start to heat up, in 1791, after the constitutional monarchy is really set into place. And Marie Antoinette's father, the King of Austria, is now looking at his son-in-law, the King of France, and being like, "Dude, you suck," right? And everybody who's you've been there, done that. No one likes to meet the dad, so to speak. And so Louis XVI's got a lot of problems, but like Marie Antoinette, I don't know. I feel like Louis deserves all the roasting that he gets. We can flame on this guy all we want, but like she's an odd duck. But I think it's unfair. I think we got to dispel that myth. She is not as wasteful as she is made out to be.
All right, fair enough. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for now.
Feminist ally, Mr. Marine.
Oh my God, can you imagine? I can't even imagine being Marie Antoinette's dad. Just like, really, this is what you married into?
Yeah.
They had to have some say in it. Wasn't it arranged marriages? I mean, I know they all had to be
but
somehow
it was like
related
political
to marry.
expediency, and this had more to do with making sure that like France and rise up. Like this is like deep down European greaseball stuff. You know what? Take an AP European history class, and then you can spend 5 weeks learning all of this stuff before you get to anything.
No.
But speaking of Louis' father-in-law, Francis I of Austria, he, an absolutist monarch in his own right, was more than just a little unhappy about the occurrences in France and the loss of face and the threat that he saw his daughter, but more importantly, his very powerful neighbor kingdom under after the constitutional monarchy is set in place, because constitutional monarchies tend to spread. And we saw this after the English Civil War and the threat that put the rest of the European continent under. And then there's that direct through line to the American Revolution. So this seems like a moment of like legitimate fear, right?
And rightfully so.
Right. So then Marie writes a letter to her dad, actually, right? And so I know you've got the text here, and we'll have you do the reading for this. But she writes a letter, so she kind of undercuts Louis, which, like, okay, yes, queen.
It's not really a hard thing to do.
Power move, do it. She writes this letter, though, that kind of gives us an idea of the, like, what she is thinking, feeling, and fearing during this time. Right? So take it away. What is she saying?
Will, but I am going to say right off the bat, first world problems, and it's a little overdramatic.
It is a little dramatic.
Here we go. The occurrence which has just taken place has confirmed us more than ever in our plans. The very guards who surround us are the persons who threaten us most. Our very lives are not safe. But we must appear to submit to everything until the moment comes when we can act. And in the meantime, our captivity proves that none of our actions are done by their own accord. Our position is frightful, and we must absolutely put an end to it next month. The king desires it even more than I do.
Yeah.
Please, really?
Well,
captivity.
This sounds
frightful.
like Meghan Markle and that other weird inbred prince from Britain who are slumming it, right? Air quotes.
Yeah, slumming
it in Canada.
Yeah.
One of my students was telling me, like, oh, they're upset because the ceilings are kind of low. Like, I don't even know what that means. Right? Like, the ceilings
vaulted ceilings versus non-vaulted?
Even vaulted. Like, I don't know, man. I'm 6'4". All ceilings are kind of low to me. Like, I don't know what they're talking about here. This is the same way. They're, like, living in a palace with a guard.
It's so horrible.
And they're still the king and queen of one of the biggest countries in the world. Like, yeah, this is that piece where, like, yeah, maybe she doesn't deserve some of the, like, roasting that she gets for, like, being all, like, bad at her money management and all that sort of stuff. But, like, yeah, I'm with you. That's a little over dramatic. But
give me a break.
Reference something that is going to be pretty problematic for the rest of Europe, quite frankly. And that's this plan that's already being set.
Oh, my God.
This is
so
hatching
stupid.
A plan of idiocy.
Oh, my God. Seriously, it is so stupid. So the royal family is going to hatch a plan to escape their captivity.
Mm-hmm.
And then their goal is to raise this, what they think is going to be this huge force of loyalists who are then going to fight.
98% of the country.
Yeah, right. Hates him. And he's like, no, we're going to have a huge force. And then he's convinced, and probably rightfully so in this, that these loyalists are going to be backed by the Austria, and he's going to be able to retake the throne. Ugh.
Gonna renegotiate it, huh? Hey, like I want a do-over. Now that I see what's happened, I want to play this reverse it card in the Uno deck and see if we can do it again. Like, what an idiot.
Let me put this in really plain language for all our listeners. What Louis is proposing to do is to side with a foreign country to attack his own people simply so he could get back in power.
Well, when you say it like that, I don't see how this could fail.
God.
Well, you know what I think the problem is?
What?
He's not an ideas guy. He's not a details guy, right? Like, you need to have somebody in your crew who's like a big idea person, and I think that's him. I think there's a lot of yada yada yadas in these planning sessions. Like, the way I think they're going down, they're hanging out, they're eating chocolate, they're swilling wine, they're hanging out in their slightly lowered ceiling castle and complaining about all this sort of stuff. And he's like, you know what would be great? That's Austrian. I don't even like know more.
I was like,
voices.
that sounded
I
like
cancel
Arnold.
myself.
Yeah.
I cancel myself. It's
good for
over. It's ruined. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything, listener. But yeah, he's just like, we're not gonna, do this constitutional monarchy that I just like immediately agreed to. What we should do is totally break out, and we'll just make this happen, and then we'll have, your dad's got an army, right, Marie? And she's like, yes, right, and then he's like, oh, perfect, like, and so you have these two idiotic personalities put together, and they're just hashing this stupid sort of plan, and then the problem with people like this is, right? All these Nepo babies, people born into royalty, people born into position, is they are never surrounded by somebody who's like, well, let's tap the brakes on the dumbest idea that you've had yet. Instead, they get people like this guy, this Swedish guy, this Count, Axel von Fersen, who's hanging out with Marie Antoinette, right? They're probably hooking up, by the way.
I was going to say, they're not hanging out.
This is this this is where the Reddit phase of the research really comes in. We will call them likely bedmates. And he's definitely like, what we should totally do is we should take your husband and me, and then we can go continue our affair in your dad's house. Right. And this is just dumb. This is a dumb plan. It's a dumb plan. Right. There's no details and everything else. And, it's just. And then, unfortunately, the person who has to wear all the blame for this, in a lot of ways, is Marie Antoinette. She's going to be the person, because they're going to Austria. It's going to be like, but it's not her fault. It's von Fersen. It's Louis. It's Francis the First of Austria. It's these people who are pulling the strings, but she just gets caught up in it, right? So our Reddit post kind of like sums this all up really succinctly and nicely. Our unknown author writes, quote, "One night, the royal family would travel by coach in disguise to the fortress at Montmedy near France's border with Luxembourg. The king would be a safe distance away from Paris and have loyal troops at his command, so he would be able to deal with the Constituent Assembly, that's France's legislature, and the Parisian revolutionaries on an even playing field. On the night of June 20th, before slipping past the guards with his family and a few attendants in disguise, Louis left a proclamation behind in the palace condemning."
Yeah, so God forbid we just leave. We have to have the last word too.
Yeah. All right. So, like how this lays out, that this escape attempt is going to be like, hey, they're just going to slip away in the night. Because, first of all, no, it took a long time for them to depart, right? Because this wasn't just running away. This was going to be fun with costume time. Because like you said, Marie, she's a slave to fashion. She wants to dress up, not as a queen for the escape. She wants to be like a governess. She's going to dress up like a teacher. But she's going to be a fancy
I'm insulted.
Teacher. She's a fancy teacher. All right? He, the king, is going to dress up like the stagecoach driver. However, he refuses to sit outside of the stagecoach, so he's going to sit inside of the stagecoach, dressed up as a stagecoach driver, which makes no sense.
This is so insulting. It's like playtime, dressing up like the peasants.
Yep. And they're not going to take just a regular old coach. They take the official royal coach. The one that's
that's not going to give them away
it's like all. Flying Air Force One, but dressing up like a vagabond. Who who's in there? Like, clearly the king. Like, and they packed
Oh
up
my
all their
God.
luggage. We're talking about all the luggage of the king and queen of France. You know how long it took? It took like 12 hours. And
Get ready.
yeah, and that's not even the biggest problem with all of this. He left a note.
He's
He
so
left-
stupid.
Yeah, let's go back to the Reddit post. And it says, Louis left a proclamation behind in the palace condemning the revolution. Like, he leaves a note that's like, hey, leaving to Austria, gonna come back with an army. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? This is dumb. This is capital D dumb. Right?
That's
The
why you
note-
said
The note could have just read like, hello, swine, we are leaving. You'll never find us. We're leaving to Austria. Dress as peasants, so sucks to be you. Me, Marie Antoinette, and the rest of our coterie of idiots will return with an army. This whole revolution is stupid, and I don't want to play anymore. Toodles, L. Like, that would have been, frankly, better somehow. Right?
Oh my God.
Like, come on.
I would have rather just had him write "suck it" and called it good. At least you're going out with dignity then, you know?
Yeah, you could have posted that to Reddit.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. All right. So, as we get ready to close out for today, like this whole thing.
Are we gonna leave him on a cliffhanger whether this
they
plan works or not?
Like, if we did this whole thing, we'd have like a Dan Carlin episode on our hands, like 2.5 hours at minimum. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, if we really got into it in the detail, this is one of those Carlin, like, hour 7.
Oh my
now
God.
The king finds a pen. Right? It's like, we can't do that. But, I mean, this whole thing, they're dumb. These are dumb people, these stupid people doing stupid things because they're stupid. That's really all it is when it comes down to it, right? All right. So we know this as we get ready to close out. We know that the Swede, Axel von Friesen, did leave a written plan as well, basically outlining the escape. And it wasn't left on purpose.
Okay, I'm like, are you kidding me?
No, but it was probably also kind of left on purpose. Like, it's hard to see what his end game here is in this. I think he's like hedging his bets.
No, I think he's planning it out because he's like, dude, if at least Marie and I can get to Austria, totally bust out Louis XVI, he's out of the relationship. We don't have to worry about a little threesome. Now it's just me and Marie and we got this.
This is definitely internet logic. This is
I'm telling you.
This is not like, no, man, he's going to riz the revolution. This is great. This is great. Right? I think he's hedging his bets to an extent of being like, no, if he gets caught, he's like, it was all on them. Listen, I left you this like kind of escape. Because what he leaves, dear listener, is a stop-by-stop, turn-by-turn like roadmap for where the king and queen are going to go in their ill-fated escape to Varennes. And that's where we'll pick back up next time here on Storytime with the Historist.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for listening. And as always, you can follow us on anywhere you can access your podcasts. So that's definitely, if this is your first one you've listened to, you should check out some more. Oh, yeah. Check us out. We got a whole back catalog of episodes. We're really excited. 3-parter coming. This is just the beginning. This is like the tip of the iceberg of dumb. Our next 2 episodes are going to get weird and wacky, and then they're going to get cruel. There will be blood. Right, because it's us. It's us. Yes. We're on brand. We're just going to play to our strengths at this point in time. All right, yeah, so make sure you like, subscribe. Hit us with a review, if at all possible. You know, if you're, on, iTunes or something else, hit us with a like. Makes it easier for other people to follow. We've definitely seen a nice increase in listenership over the last couple of months. And so for all of you who are out there who are streaming and listening, thank you. We love you guys so much. And like I said, if you have a quick opportunity, hit us with a like. 5 stars only. If it's 1 star, keep it to yourself. It's fine. It's fine. Just be honest. All right. So until next time, dear listener, don't be dumb. See you later. Bye.